Okay lads, I'm going to go through the answers to the assignment on circumference of a circle and perimeter of a semicircle, right? Formulas that are going to be very useful is if you have a circle, see like that, that is the diameter. The diameter is the distance across the middle of the circle, usually called D, right? And the radius is the distance from the center to the edge of the circle, usually called R, right? The circumference is pi times diameter, okay? And the diameter is double the radius. See those two formulas? Exceptionally useful. Now, pi, as you know, is 3.14. That's the value of it. So what you need to have in the back of your mind is when you're starting these problems is you know what a diameter looks like. It's the distance across the entire circle that goes through the middle. And you also know what a radius is. It's the distance from the center to the edge of the circle, okay? And you know the formulas, C is pi d and d is 2r, where pi is 3.14. So, have a calculator to hand. I have mine here. And what I'm going to do is go through these answers and we'll see how we get on. So, some of these will be quite easy. Number 1. Circle is shown, work out the circumference. So it's just going to be 3.14 by 5 because remember circumference is pi d, right? So I'm going to type that in and I'm getting an answer of 15.7. There's an easy start. Number 2, you've got a circle radius 9, work out the circumference. Well, first of all, you need the diameter, which is 18. Remember, to get a diameter, you double the radius. So to get the circumference, it's 3.14 by 18. And what I'm getting for that is 56.52. 56.52. Okay. Question 3. Move the sheet down so we can see it. Shown below is a circle. Work out the circumference. Leave your answer in terms of pi. Well, the diameter is 20, so it's going to be 20 pi is going to be the circumference. You can just leave it like that with the pi symbol in it. So the answer is going to be 20 pi. Below is a circle, diameter 7. Work out the circumference. It's just going to be 7 pi. Pi times diameter. You can just leave the pi symbol. If it asks you to do it, give your answer in terms of pi. Means you leave the pi symbol in it. Question 5. Right? A circular mirror has diameter 1.3. Work out the circumference. Well, it's going to be 3.14 multiplied by 1.3. And you're getting an answer of 4.082. Okay, 4.082. Number 6. A tin of beans has a diameter of 7.5. What is the circumference of the circle? Sorry, what is the circumference of circle with diameter 7.5? Well, all you do is 3.14 by 7.5. And I'm getting the answer 23.55. Okay, so that's that one done. Number 7. I'll move this down so we can see it. Use pi as 3.14 to work out the circumference of a circle diameter 4. So it's 3.14 multiplied by 4, right? And I'm getting for that 12.56. 12.56. A circular plate has a circumference of 37.7. Work out the diameter. Now this is working backwards. So it's saying that C is 37.7. So we know that 37.7 is 3.14 times diameter. So you need to divide 37.7, divide it by 3.14. And you should get the answer 12. The answer is going to be 12. Okay? A circular pond has a radius of 6. Calculate the circumference. Well, if the radius is 6, the diameter is 12, and the circumference is 12 pi. That's it done. Okay, pretty simple, because remember, circumference is pi times diameter. Number 10. A circle has a radius of 5.6. Work out the circumference. Well, we need the diameter, which is going to be double that, right? Which works out as 11.2. And to get the circumference is 3.14 multiplied by 11.2. And what I'm ending up getting is 35.168. Okay. A semicircle has a radius of 5.6. Work out the perimeter. Now you need to be careful in this question because the perimeter of this shape is the distance around the edge of it. Remember that word perimeter means if you were to travel around all of the edge, if you were to walk around the entire edge of that shape, it's the distance that you walk in total. So what we need to do is work out this length, which is going to be 5.6 doubled, which is 11.2. So the diameter is 11.2. We need to work out this curved distance, which is going to be half of the circumference. Now remember, circumference is pi d, so the circumference is 3.14 by 11.2. So I'm going to type that in, and you get 35.168. Then I'm going to half that. And you get 17.584. Now that tells me that this distance here, right between the two arrows, is 17.584. But that is not the perimeter. Remember, the perimeter is the distance around the entire edge of it. So it's going to be 17.584 plus this straight line along the bottom, 11.2. And I'm ending up getting my final answer as 28.784. So that's a hard question because you need to work out the circumference and half it and then add on the diameter at the bottom to get the perimeter. Question 11. The circumference of a circle measures 19.5. Work out the length of the diameter. So I can say that 19.5 is equal to 3.14 times d, right? So if you divide over, you can say that 19.5 divided by 3.14 is 6.2. So the diameter is going to be 6.21. Okay. A semicircle is shown below. Work out the perimeter of the semicircle. So we know the diameter is 8. So this circumference, or half the circumference, is 3.14 by 8 divided by 2, which is 12.56. And then we're going to add to that 8. We need to add this line at the bottom. So it's going to be 20.56 is the answer. Okay, that's number 12. Question 13. The circumference of a circle measures 4. Work out the length of the radius. Well, 4 equals 3.14 times d. Divide 4 by 3.14. And you get 1.274 roughly is the diameter. And then the radius is going to be half of that, which I'm working out as 0.64 approximately to 2 decimal places, 0.64 meters, which is 64 centimeters. All right. Georgina has 1 meter of pink ribbon. She wants to wrap it round a tree trunk with diameter 32. Will she be able to wrap it round? Well, you need to work out first of all the circumference, which is pi times diameter, and the diameter is 32. So it's 3.14 multiplied by 32, which is 100.48. Now that's centimeters. Now that is 1.48. No, sorry, that's just greater than 1 meter. So the answer is going to be no, because her ribbon only covers 100 centimeters, so she's going to be short 0.48 centimeters. Okay, so this is going to be short there a wee bit. Question 15. James has a bike, right? Each wheel is a diameter of 45. James cycles his bike in a straight line in the playground. The front wheel makes 15 revolutions. How far does he travel? Well, we need to work out the circumference of the wheel. So it's going to be 3.14 multiplied by 45. So I'm going to type that in. And you end up getting 141.3 centimeters, right? Now that would be the distance the wheel would cover in one full turn, because it would actually mean that the circumference would mean one full turn. Do you ever see the wee meter wheels that you push along and they click every time you go a meter? That's how they work. The circumference of that wheel is 1 meter. So every time it does one full turn, it measures a meter. So it's the same with this bike wheel, because it's diameter 45. See if I draw across here, the diameter is 45 centimeters. That means the circumference around the wheel is 141.3. Now it's making 15 revolutions, so I'm going to times 141.3 by 15. And you get 2119.5 centimeters. Now, how do you change that to meters? You divide by 100, and the answer is going to be 21.195 meters. Okay, that's going to be how far he's going to travel on the bike. Number 16. A circular wheel has a diameter of 30. The wheel rolls a distance of 60. How many revolutions did it go? Well, let's get the circumference of the wheel. So it's going to be 3.14 multiplied by 30. This is in centimeters, so let's type this in. And that gives me 94.2 centimeters. That's going to be the circumference. The wheel travels a distance of 60 meters. Well, 60 meters, remember, is 6,000 centimeters. You can just times that by 100. So if we divide 6,000 by 94.2, okay, it'll tell you how many times the circumference has gone in. So it's 63.7. So calculate the number of complete revolutions. Well, the answer is going to be 63, okay, because it will be 63 and then not quite 64 revolutions, but 63 complete ones. Okay, number 17. Work out the perimeter of the quarter circle with radius 7. Well, if I draw out the full circle, see the full circle here, and I draw in a wee dashed line here and a dashed line here, they're looking, what we're going to do is we're going to get this distance between the two arrows first, which is a quarter of the circumference. It's a quarter of it. So that's 7 and 7. So the diameter is 14. So the circumference is 3.14 by 14. And I'm going to work out a quarter of that by dividing it by 4. And I'm getting the answer 10.99. So that is going to be between the two arrows, 10.99. To get the perimeter, I'm going to have to add on these two lines, which is another 14. And my final answer is 24.99. Or if you wanted to round that up, it's approximately 25 centimeters. That's going to be the answer to 17. Okay, question 18. A primary school has a running track. It has two straight bits of 50, and there are two bend bits on the end that are semicircles, diameter 30. Work out the distance round the track. Well, there's two straight bits on the track, which I'm going to draw in. There's 50 meters and 50 meters, so that's 100 meters if you add those two straight bits. We've got two curved bits, which if I stick them together actually form, if I draw that dashed line, let's call that A and B, you can see here from my diagram, if I actually stick those together, the distance of the two curved bits actually form the circumference of a circle, which has diameter 30. So the circumference of this circle, remember, is pi times diameter, which is 3.14 by 30. So let's work that out, which is 94.2 meters. But I'm also going to add to that the 100 meters because there's the two straight edges too. So my answer is 194.2 meters. That's going to be the distance around the running track. So just short of 200 meters. Number 19. It shows a semicircle of radius 3. Work out the perimeter of the semicircle given your answer in terms of pi. Well, the diameter is going to be 6. This curved part is going to be half the circumference. Now the circumference is pi times 6, or 6 pi. So if you half that, you get 3 pi. If you divide that by 2, you get 3 pi. So see this curve bit here between the two arrows? That's 3 pi, leaving pi in the symbol. Because this straight line is 6, my answer is going to be 6 plus 3 pi. So it's 6 along the bottom plus 3 pi is the curve bit. That's going to be my answer there. Okay, finally, number 20. Shown is a tabletop. It has a square in the middle, which I'm going to draw out with dashed lines here. And it has 4 semicircles. Calculate the perimeter. Now, you see the perimeter, if you take 4 circles and they're all the same, it's basically the perimeter is going to be 2 of the circumferences. 2 of them. I'll show you why. And the diameter is 1 meter. Because you see that if that's A and B, if I stick those together, they form a circle. And if that's C and D and I stick those together, they form a circle. So you've actually got 2 circles, you have 4 semicircles, and if you stick them together, you actually end up getting 2 circles. Now we don't count these straight lines in the perimeter because the perimeter is, if you follow my pen, I'll actually highlight it here in yellow for you. The perimeter goes from here, it goes round to there, then round to there. So it goes round the edges, round there, and round there. So it goes round the highlighted bit, that's the perimeter. And what you can see is it's actually the circumference of 2 of the circles. So circumference is pi d. Circumference is 1 by 3.14, which is 3.14. And then I'm going to double that, so the perimeter is 6.28 meters. Okay, I'll move that up so you can see it's 6.28 meters. So that's that assignment. It was a long assignment, but I want you to check through it carefully. Make sure if you've made any mistakes that you correct them, and you can send me in any corrections and then I can print them off for your results. But make sure you make the corrections, look at the video, and then I know you've checked out your answers. Okay, thank you.